or it's for, I haven't sent this to Avi, but this is an example of how to use the conclusion only. I believe that this is the Clementi one, and A makes sense. My question is, what if the second largest and the third largest combined? Let's assume it's 750 each in terms of sales. It's equals to 1.5 million, and there was an assumption that said cannot be less than 10% for the Jack Minis. I don't think that would still be important because that's not something that's needed for this assumption. Remember, the assumption is I'm only looking at the largest nursery, and thus, given it's 10%, it's the most popular. This is most. I really don't care even if the number of sales is higher than a million, even if the sales is higher than a million, compared to 1.5 million. I really don't care if this is 10%, 0%, 5%. It's irrelevant of this number. And suppose the second to the 50th largest nurseries combined, 10 million. Again, this is irrelevant. I believe that's an example of just sticking to the conclusion specifically. The conclusion says, hey, just looking at the largest nursery, this is the most. Now, would the conclusion make sense with these much higher numbers? And if this was, say, 0%, zero Jack Many was sold versus all 100% was sold? Probably not. But that's not my job to check whether the conclusion is accurate or not. If you were to give me this evidence, and then I would say maybe it's not the most popular. But assuming that the conclusion is right, within the largest nursery out of the million, 10%. So I can only say that for this to be true, the others have to be combined less than 900,000. If this was, all 10 million here versus zero here, you know, it's irrelevant. So this is an example of sticking to the argument specifically. You have to assume that the conclusion makes sense and not think about assumptions for things that would perhaps make the conclusion false. You should instead think of assumptions that would make the assumed conclusion that you believe is accurate. That's true. For that, if 10%, this has to be less than 900,000. Um, um, you cannot look for an assumption that has to be true for something that you wish was true. You would wish that this number 1.5 is less than that million, but even if it's higher than the 1 million, it's irrelevant. Yep. Thank you.